to learn it? Tried and tired of monitoring websites and apps? Don't worry, you're here to help us. Welcome to Coder's Crash. Hello friends, in today's video we are going to learn about functions in C and C++. Before that, let us see the answer for the previous problem. Here is the answer for the previous problem. The problem is to swap two values. So for that, first I'm including header files. I will string for input and output statement, and then using namespace std. After that, I'm declaring a function that is void swap. Void because I'm not returning any value, and swap is my function name, and I'm passing two parameters, int x and int y, to store the values, and then I'll swap these values. So my y should go to x and x value should go to y. For that, I am declaring a temporary variable z, so that I am saving x in z first, and then I am storing my y value in x. After that, I am storing this z value in y, because this z value already has my x value, so I have swapped it successfully. And then I am printing the value in the function itself, because I am not returning it. So in this function, I am printing that a is value of x, because I have typed it here because I am passing a and b for user understanding. And giving a here, which is going to be my x, and b here, which is going to be my value. And the main function, I am declaring two variables, and I am giving value to the variables, and I am calling the function so that I could swap these values. So again, I am printing in the main function to check whether the changes are made here. That is, I have copied the value of x in y and y in x. That is, we are passing the a and b, so that the a value will be stored in x and b value will be stored in y. After that, I am checking here whether these changes are made inside the function is reflected here or not. So let us check this program. So that I am compile and running this program. So now we've got the output. So it is saying that a equal to 20 and b 10, which will print inside this function. That is, it is saying that x is 20 and y is 10. And then in the main function, we have printed again another cout statement, which is saying that a is 10 and b is 20. That is, the actual value of a and b is 10 and 20. But in the swap function, we have swapped that value, but it does not reflect in the main function. That is, the value of 10 and 20 doesn't change. So it can be changed. That is, if you change any value in the function, it can be reflected in the main function. If we use call by reference method, in this function we have called it using call by value method. There is another method called call by reference method, in which the changes you have made in the function will reflect in the main function. We will see details about call by value and call by reference in this video. So let us go into it. These topics are types of functions, syntax, and calling function. Types of function. There are four types of function that the user can define. They are function with no argument and no return value. That is, the function will not take any input and also will not return any value to the main function. And then the function with argument and no return value. That is, it will take an input and will not return a value. In the function we have already discussed, like we have used a function for swap. In that program, we have passed x and y, that is, we have passed two parameters, two arguments, but we did not return any value. That is the function with argument and no return value. So function with no argument and with a return value. Here we will not pass any value to the function, but the function will return some values. And the last type is function with argument and with a return value. This function will take an input from the main function. We'll pass some parameter to the function, and also the function will return some value to the main function. The syntax for each and every type. First, First one is function with no argument and no written value. Here we'll use void if the function does not return any value. So void is used to mention that the function is not returning any value. And then we'll give a function name. After that, in the brackets, we'll just leave this brackets empty because we are not passing any arguments. And inside the curly braces, as usual, we'll define the function. Next type is function with arguments and no written value. So it is no written value, so we are going to use void as the written type. Next, function name, and inside the brackets we will give the parameters we are going to pass, any number of parameters, and it can be any type, but we have to mention it inside this bracket. As usual, again inside the curly braces we can define that function. Third type is function with no argument and with written value. Here we will leave this bracket empty, but we will mention the written type. Whether we are going to return an integer value or a character value or a float value, we will mention it. It can be any type, and with the function name. And inside the brackets, we will define the function. Function with argument and with the written value. This type we will mention written type of the function, function name, and inside the brackets we will mention the parameters, and then we will define the function. So the next is calling functions. There are two types of calling functions. As I've already said, one is call by value and another one is call by reference. The program we discussed earlier for swapping function, we have used call by value to call the function. We'll see in detail what is call by value and what is call by references. Call by value. The call by value method of passing arguments to a function copies the actual value of an argument into the formal parameter of the function. So here we have used x and y as the function parameters, and we have passed the values a and b. In call by value method, this function only takes the value of the passing arguments. That is, we pass a and b. This function only takes the value, that is a equal to 10 and b equal to 20. It copies those values into x and y. So it creates another address, that is x and y, so that any changes you have made, that is you have stacked those values, that is x goes into y and y goes into x. Here, these changes have not reflected in main function, that is the a and b value doesn't change. This is because we've copied those values and we are performing the tasks in another address which will not related to this main value we are passing, that is a and b. But in call by reference method, what we are doing is the call by reference method of passing arguments to a function copies the reference of an argument into the formal parameter. We're just going to refer to this actual value, that is, we are just going to pass the address of the value you have stored. You may feel to some difficulty to understand it, but once we are going to see it in a program, we are going to understand it. So let us go to that. Here's the program we discussed earlier. I've already said here I've used call by value method to call the functions back. That is, for the call by value, you don't have to do anything. Just call the just you have to type the function name inside the brackets. You're going to pass the number of parameters this function takes. So it takes two values. I passed two values. But in call by reference value, you're going to pass the address of this value. So you have to add this ampersand symbol. This represents we are going to pass the address of these values to the function. So a variable which takes the address of a value is called pointers. Pointer is important in C and C++, so you have to know what is pointer. Pointer is a variable which takes the address of another value. So the symbol of pointer is star. So star x and star y are going to be the pointers to get the values we are passing. So each and every space you have to mention x and y is a pointer. And also we are going to print pointer x and pointer y. So let us now execute this program and let us see what is the difference in call by value method and call by reference method. So here's our output. We are getting that A is 20 and B is 10 as we've got in the previous program also. You may think there is no difference, but we've got in the main function also, that is A is 20 and B is 10. This is because the changes you have made inside the function is actually reflected in the main function. That is it is reflected in the actual value you are passing. That is A and B. Here the value of A and B is also changed. This is because we are only passing the address of A and B to this pointer x and y. So what actually it does is this only takes the address and perform the operations we have mentioned in that address. Since the operations were done in that address, it is the actual address of this A and B changes. Now problem for you, that is try to do any function using both call by value method and call by reference method. We've already seen we've tried to swap the value using call by value and call by reference. So we can try any other functions using this, and if you have any doubt, please leave it in the comment. I'll solve it. So thank you everyone for watching this video. If you like it, please do like and comment in the comment section and share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel Code Crash. If you don't like the video, please mention it in the comment section so that I can rectify the next video. Hope you all liked it, and please stay tuned for the next videos.